Hello, and welcome to Ikebana with Flower Child Studio. I'm your teacher, Ava. So our lesson today is going to be doing the basic upright, but we're going to be doing it in the reverse style, which is called gakugate. So if we're doing it gakugate, that means that the arrangement is going to be on the right. It's going to start on the right-hand side of your soibon. So the previous lesson we had done, it was starting on our left side. So now it's on our right. And our kenzan that we're going to be using is going to be moved over to position 2 in our soibon. So it's going to be in the front right corner instead of the left. Okay, and so this is it's the same lesson that we went over before. It's just reverse. So we're going to start with our shin, and we're going to be measuring our shin. And so that's going to be our tallest branch. How we measure our shin is we start off, we go by the width of the container. We start our measurements, the width, and then we add the height. Okay, so this is the size of our container, the height and the width. And then we're going to add 1/2 onto that. So as I said before, you just kind of eyeball it. It doesn't have to be exact, but you add 1/2 and then you add that onto the bottom. So this is going to be from here up. This is going to be our shin. So I'm just going to cut this. And I always do a little, cut before I start cutting underwater. As I said before, when you're cutting your branch stems, you're going to be cutting them at an angle. So this would be flat, this is at an angle. So we're gonna go in and cut it. Okay, so here's our shin. And sometimes I like this little side piece here. And if you have it like this, it could be a little distracting, but if you just turn it forward, or you could turn it to the back, I'm gonna turn it forward, it kind of goes in line with the branch. So that way you can keep it onto the branch, you don't have to cut it. Here's our shin. So it's going to be going in there again, the back of our kenzan. And just as a little reminder, we're forming an asymmetrical triangle. So our shin's gonna be in the back, our soi is going to be here on the right, and our hakai is going to be on the left. Okay, so we're gonna put it in. So it's going to be going 10 to 15 degrees off center and 10 to 15 degrees forward towards the right. So just about right there. So here's our shin. Sometimes when I'm saying, 10 to 15 degrees, sometimes I like to, kind of think of it like there's like a little imaginary line running down the middle of our kenzan. And just think of it that way. There's a little imaginary line. So it's gonna go 10 to 15 degrees off center of that little line, and then 10 to 15 degrees forward. So, and really our shin, it's not moving too much. So, okay. And then our soi is our next main line, and our soi is going to be 75% of our shin. And so just kind of pick which one you like out of your, I have extra branches, so just kind of pick the one you want to use. I'm gonna go with this one. Okay. So, and as I always say, I do a little rough cut to try and get an idea, and it's gonna be 3/4. So this is about the same size. We need to cut it down. So I'm just gonna cut it down here. I'm gonna take these bottom leaves off. So that's just about 3/4. So I'm gonna give it one more cut. Okay, and so we're going to be putting it into our kenzan, and it's going to be going 45 degrees off center and 45 degrees forward. It's okay, that happens sometimes. Okay, so that's just about, 45. Sometimes it takes a couple attempts, doesn't get right in the right place at the first try. So, okay, so here's our shin, here's our soi, and then our next main flower or next main line is going to be our hakai, which I'm gonna use a flower for. And our hakai is going to be 3/4 of our soi. So let's try and find that. This one's a little too short, so let's pick a different one. And I'm just gonna take a few of these petals off. The flower itself still looks really good, but if there's just a few little, petals that aren't kind of looking the great, just take them out. Take them out. So, okay, so our hakai is going to be 3/4 of our soi. There again, I do my little rough cut. So that was pretty good. Almost right there. Maybe this is a little too short. I'll go one more. Third time's the charm, so, okay. There again, just take it out. And we want it 3/4. So this is they're about the same height. So I'm gonna cut this down. And when we're cutting our flower stems and they're going into a kenzan, we're gonna wanna cut them flat. So the branches into a kenzan, we cut at an angle, but flower stems, we cut flat. So just kind of cut. I think that looks good. Maybe one more. Okay, so here's our hakai, and our hakai is going to be going 75 degrees, but it's going to be going in the opposite direction. So that's helping to create that 3-dimensional triangle that we're creating. Okay, so 75 degrees forward. So there we go. So our soy and our hakai. And I'm gonna take this leaf out because it's touching the water and we don't want it. You don't want the leaves in the water because that'll get the water dirty and your arrangement won't last as long. So, because honestly, these arrangements, they can last two and a half weeks. So you just keep adding a little bit more water so they last a very long time. Okay, so now we're going to be filling in the rest of our arrangement with our jushi, and then we'll be doing the front focal with our flowers. Okay, so I'm gonna go in and start with some jushis. I always like to say I like to add my backwards facing jushi first. So add a little in the back, okay, just like that. Okay, and just fill it in. It doesn't have to be completely filled, but just, start it off. And it's nice to have some on the side as well. So you're kind of, filling in the rest of the arrangement. But, you do the arrangement, we're arranging the flowers, but we're also arranging the space too. So you do want to leave space in between. Okay, so just add a little few here and there, coming back. And let's add a little bit more maybe in the middle, because this one's there's a lot going on here. So I'm just going to take this one out. So now I have 2 pieces I can use. So, in Ikebana, we don't want to waste material, but we don't also just want to save material either. But this way we're using all of the branch that we can. So I'm going to fill it in a little. This one here. Because also, as you're filling in, you don't want to fill it in completely because we need to put our flowers. So let's start there. So of these flowers, this one's larger than this one. So I'm going to put this one in the front. It's more of a focal, and this one's a little smaller, so I'm going to put it in the back. This one has a cute little bud too. We should put the little bud in. So, okay, so we want to have it, in the front here. It's our focal point. So I'm just going to cut that little bud off to save it, to put it in after. And again, we don't want any of our jushi or our focal point flowers to be as long as our hakai or our other main lines, because you don't want them competing with each other. So I'm going to cut this down because this one's a little big. I'm just going to cut it down just a little bit. Okay. And I'm going to put that right in the front like that, have it come forward. So I'm going to take this off. It's kind of bothering the flower, this one leaf. So there again, open up the space. In Ikebana, there we go. We're open. The space is also part of the design. So did our little hakai fall? That's okay. When that happens, because it happens to me, it happens to everybody, what you should do is give your flower stem a fresh cut, because after it's been in the kenzan, with the needles, it gets into the stem. It can chew up the stem a little bit. So just give it a fresh cut, and then we'll put it back in. Sometimes that also happens because these the heads on these flowers are a little big. So it can make the flower stem heavy. So it can have a tendency to fall like that, but that's okay. Just give it a little fresh cut, and there again, just kind of guide it into place. So there we go. And again, this leaf's in the water. We're gonna wanna take it out, just like that. So we have our soy hakai, and we're working on our focal point. So we have this flower, and this is too long, because there again, if you see this is competing here with our hakai. So I'm gonna cut this down shorter. Just take off the leaves, there we go. And then just put it back. Put it in. And actually this hakai, these are 2 on the same plane. So I'm gonna take these leaves out, kind of make room for our flower stem, just like that. That looks nice. So they're, from this perspective, they don't look exactly on the same plane, but you wanna have that dimension, that up and down. So, and just take that out. It was getting a little too close to our flower stem, our flower faces. So I'm just gonna put it in like that. So even with your jushi, if it's not working, just take it out, recut it, and then put it back in. So again, we're not wasting the material, we're just rearranging it. just like that. You know, really with Ikebana, I always say, like, you don't want everybody bothering each other. You don't want everyone in like too close together or they're butting up against each other. Everybody has their own place. So all the flower material, everyone has their own spot. So think of it that way. Everybody likes having their own room to breathe. So it's the same thing with people. Like, you know, when you're standing in line and people are like right next to you, it's like, you know, get away. Flowers like that as well. Okay. All right, so let's just add a little bit more of our juicy in, kind of in towards the front. There again, as I said before, you know, the juicy is you're filling in your arrangement, and it's also, you know, covering our mechanic, our kenzon. So, you know, you want to do it artfully and not just, you know, pile it in. So this one, I want to kind of have it more at an angle. So just do that a little bit more. There we go. Kind of have it there again, moving forward. Just don't have everybody straight up and down. You want some dimension moving forward. So, okay. So this is, you know, almost done. Let's just add maybe a little bit more juicy to it. And I think we're all set. So kind of looking, some of these get one of the little shorter ones in. Give it a cut underwater. I'm gonna get it in the middle there. Cover, there again, our kenzon. Sometimes they don't want to listen. That's okay. It'll get to the right spot. So, but you know, sometimes I feel the material, it doesn't want to go in a certain place. Just listen to your material and move it. It wants to go somewhere else. Good to listen to your material as well. Maybe one more, a little bit longer. And there again, don't be afraid to have a little bit longer of juicy. You do want the variety with it as well. So like that, adding a little bit there. Maybe one more towards the back. Maybe that one's a little too heavy. Okay, then just fill it in here like that. And yeah, I think it's about all. So here is our reverse style basic upright. Here's our shin, soy, here's our hakai, here's our focal point, and then here's our juicy. So I hope you enjoy. And please, if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments down below, and like and subscribe. And also, if you're here in the San Francisco Bay Area, please come check us out at Flower Child Studio. Thank you very much.